Hey, what's happening? Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It is not so bright and early. It's a little after lunchtime here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, let me just fill you guys in. I was having a kind of a quiet afternoon here. I'll tell you guys about that in a second. And as I was sitting here, my phone dinged. I'm not on Twitter much, but I have I have a few people. It rings when certain people tweet, and there was a tweet by Don Trump Jr. And the more I thought about it, I just got to do a video on it. I got to talk to you guys about it because I'm just amazed at how juvenile he is. But anyway, before I get into that, so I'm sitting around and doing some reading. I kind of wanted to mention this to you guys too. I like science fiction. I was reading a little science fiction here. I came across my local library was having a book sale. And I was looking over the books, and there was this, it's kind of like an adolescent book. Kids, it's called The Lifters. And it's a couple hundred pages. It's got pictures and stuff. And it's more of a kid's book, but it really caught my eye. And I thought, man, maybe sometime when I'm bored, I'll just rip through it quick. I don't know. There's something about the caves and stuff down there that just reminded me. I used to love caves when I was a kid. So I picked it up. I'm about halfway through it. It's really got an interesting subplot. It's about a town kind of collapsing into a hollowed out ground underneath. But weirder than that, there's two politicians in this book, and they're constantly arguing against propositions. One has this proposition for saving money for parks and schools for children. Money for parks and schools for children. The other politician has made up this false narrative, this fear-mongering about moose attacking. The other there's no moose anywhere near this town, and this other politician is claiming that that's why the homes are collapsing. They're getting trampled by these crazy moose that are coming into the town. It's stone cold fear mongering, and he wants to buy helicopters so he could go spot the moose that don't exist. And the more I read this, it reminded me of someone. The fear mongering. Only I can save you from these moose and the moose that don't exist. The helicopter reminded me a little bit of building the wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. It's so weird. I'm only halfway through it, but I'll have to fill you guys in. Okay. Anyway, to the point of this video. So I'm sitting around and I hear my phone ding, and it's a tweet from Donald Trump Jr. And it says that he's all excited. He's like, newsflash, Anthony Fauci has contracted the coronavirus. Then he goes on to say that even though that Tony Fauci is octuple vaccinated and quadruple masked, he still got the Rona. Science. That's what he put in big letters. And then I read some of the comments. Some jack off putting a sweet irony or something like that. And I'm reading this, and there's the possibility. My next video, I'm going to talk about I've been waiting to talk about this. I think Donald Trump is going to officially announce he's running very soon before or around or on July 4th. But anyway, I'm like, oh my God, this son and his father could be in the White House again. And as I'm looking at this tweet, the first thing is that here's somebody, I could picture Don Jr. running to his phone. He finds out Fauci has gotten the coronavirus, and it's a very mild case because he was vaccinated. And Don Jr. runs to his phone, and he's all excited. What kind of person takes joy? Anthony Fauci gets sick. He's got it's like the flu. What kind of person takes this kind of sick joy in somebody else feeling ill? That's the first thing that struck me. And then there's the exaggerations. Octuple like 8 times vaccinated and quadruple masked, or vice versa. It was quadruple and octuple. You know, come on. You know, we know, just like me, I got the initial 2 shots, the initial vaccination, and then 1 booster, and I want to go get my second booster any day now. 3 shots total. And I've talked about, you know, there a couple times I wore double masks. You know, and it's such gross exaggeration. It reminds me again of his father. You know, and I wonder why they do this. Is it to be funny? Is it to make a point? Because, you know, it's obviously way over the top. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. To me, it says something about their fear of what they're arguing against. You know, the vaccination, the mask. Why are they so upset about a simple vaccination and a mask? Especially since it's his own father that likes to take credit for the initial vaccination. You know, I don't get it. It's so juvenile. And then the last thing, science in big letters. You know, again, what kind of people, what does he got against this guy? Anthony Fauci is an older guy, an old scientist. To me, he looks pretty mild-mannered. I imagine the reason he contracted it, like a lot of people, he's a public figure. He's got a high-profile job. I assume that he's got very busy days where he meets with a lot of people. And not, you know, very few people are wearing any masks these days, so it's not surprising to me whatsoever that he got a mild case. You know, it's not really a story. I can't even really call it interesting. But yet, Donald Trump Jr., you know, gets on the phone, tweets this out, you know, and makes a big deal out of it. But what kind of, you know, him and his father, what do they have against science? You know, this is how America, how the whole world, how our whole civilization has gotten to where we are, by the scientific method. And I just don't get it. You know, and the more I think about the possibility of his father, or the likelihood of his father running again, I'm going to do a video about that, because his father running again is scary as heck. There's nothing good will come of that. If he loses or if he wins, that's going to be my next video tomorrow morning. But anyway, I had to tweet a comment to Donald Trump Jr. It was very short. It just said, "Give it a rest, D-bag." I don't know. You know, really, it's juvenile, ignorant, and kind of sadistic, you know, taking joy in somebody else getting sick. And what did Anthony Fauci ever do to Donald Trump Jr. that makes him so petty? I don't know, and I don't know how people could support the Trump family. I'll say it again. I don't get it. All right, I will be back tomorrow. I've been waiting to do this video. I think his father's going to announce a run any day soon, and our future does not look good. If he wins, if he loses, we're in trouble. All right, don't want to ruin your day, but have a good Thursday.